Stony Brook is the third team seeded 7th or lower in the history of the championship to make it to the final. The second 7 seed joining East Carolina in 1993 and 8 seed Elon in 2021. Start with an opening statement from Coach.
Well, first thing I would say is we are the 7th seed, but the league's expanded, and we're not the 7th best team in the league. I think we've shown that. Our guys don't believe that, and they've got a lot of grit to them. I think that it was a great win for us. Hofstra has pounded on us for years. If you were to go look at the historic record, we have hardly beaten them ever. So to play them and beat them in such a meaningful game is huge for our players, the program, the community, the university. A lot goes into this, and a lot of people put a lot of resources into being competitive in hoops, and so it's always hard. And thankful we won.
Let's start with questions in the room for Tyler. Matt. Wait for the microphone, please.
Matt Truckinelli from Herb FM Sports Radio. So just talk about the ending of that game. With about 2:15 left, you guys went on a 10-0 run, and with approximately 35 to 40 seconds left, then with a deficit cut down to 4. So just talk about the ending to that game.
Well, they did a great job. We had a good lead. Tyler Thomas can make unbelievably hard shots. He's the best hard shot maker, maybe in the country. I mean, listen. I'm not going to tell you he's the national player of the year, but I am going to tell you that you give a guy a jump shot with contested, he makes some really hard ones. And that one he hit over Mido to get it to a single possession game was ridiculously hard. I thought we made him work for him, and it doesn't matter. Great offense beats good defense. But his percentage tonight was where we needed it. He didn't have the hot night, but he's going to make shots when he can get them off like that. So it was that. We had one turnover. I mean, I'd have to watch the film. It looked like it hit the kid in the hands, and he just didn't catch it for whatever reason. But it'd be good if we caught the ball in that situation moving forward. We'll talk about that.
Nick and then Jaden. Nick and then Jaden. Nick in the front row, and then Jaden.
Tyler, 40 minutes tonight. You played a double overtime game last night. What was your mindset in the toughest moments? I mean, you played a lot of minutes of basketball over the last 2 days.
I've done it before. Did it all last year, so, it kind of helped. And, big-time players just got to step up. And, can't come out the game. I do things on both ends of the floor, so, just got to stay locked in.
Tyler, last night, Gino said that when it's one person's night, the team tends to recognize that. Last night it was Chris and also with Aaron, but with Aaron in foul trouble, you stepped up tonight. Did you see anything out there that allowed you to maybe exploit Hofstra a little more, or?
Just stay aggressive, in my opinion. I felt like I got to my spots, didn't let them fight over me in the post, and, I just made great shots and, just stayed confident and trusted in it.
Second row to John.
Coach, could you talk about what you did to Dubar to control him? He really, 5 points, really didn't do much. Really get involved in the game.
Well, first off, I would say I thought he was first-team all-conference player all year. I was actually surprised that the coaches didn't get him on the first team because he also guards. He's one of the best defenders in our league. He's a two-way player. I think Dubar and Tyler Stevenson more of the two best two-way guys our league has to offer. We tried to double team him anytime he caught it, within a step or so of the block. So that forced him to pass it. And on the perimeter, we tried to just really pressure him and make him drive it. He's such a good shooter. I mean, he's a 40% shooter. He's got length. He's got size. Look, I thought we did a really good job. And anytime you do that, and I think I said this yesterday, and I felt like this off of Tyler's game yesterday, like when you have an elite offensive player and they don't have good stats, yes, it's defense, yes, it's game planning, but sometimes the guy just has a bad night, and I think it's a combination of all that, to be quite honest. I mean, Dubar, he had 32 or 34 on us in the first game and was why we lost. So I certainly know what he's capable of, and we tried this similar stuff that night, and none of it worked. So, give our guys credit for maybe playing a little harder to make those shots a little more difficult, but yeah, certainly got a lot of respect for Dubar.
Jaden.
Gino, and also for you too, Tyler. Last night you said that you guys have a belief that you can beat anyone. You've taken down the 2 and the 3 seed already this weekend, and you played Charleston close to one time. You had them earlier in the regular season. what kind of a challenge does that group represent after their comeback, its own comeback tonight, and what needs to go right for you guys to take down another one tomorrow?
Well, first off, the good news is they played a football game today because Towson's so physical that I'm sure they got more ice packs going than we will, and we played one extra game. So hopefully they're beat up and sore, and they're great. I mean, they're a great team. They have a ton of depth. Probably they're just going to keep coming at you in waves and waves and waves. In the game at our place early, we had a 15-point lead. I think their depth just wore us down as the game went, and we got to make sure that tomorrow night we'll have adrenaline going. Guys are going to want to play. It ain't gonna matter about who's hurt and who's tired, but it'll be difficult because of how great they are. Not as much wouldn't matter if it was the first game of the tournament for us. If we'd have caught them in the 1-8 game, it was always going to be hard. They're the best team for a reason, and they've been the best team for 2 years that in our experience of the league. You want to answer? Talk too much. Go ahead. Next.
Tyler, down the stretch, you had some huge stops, and you had a big three, and Noel had that big three. What I wanted to ask you was after the Delaware game, you said you had 4 more games to play, and those stops down the end got you the 4th game. And that's going to be the secret to your success tomorrow. Can you comment on coming back with the same intensity on such a quick turnaround after a double overtime game and then this war tonight?
It's what you live for when you're a younger kid, to live in moments like this. I mean, this is my last ride. There's a lot of guys on the team's last ride, so we got to come to play. They're going to push the tempo, and we just got to stop them in transition and just play confidently.
Coach, this is now the 2nd elimination game in a row that you've got a huge boost from Mito. How much was that a part of your game plan, or did the ball just find him in the right moments?
Well, we couldn't drive by their guards very well, and so they were pressuring us really, really hard and getting us extended. I mean, we had 15 turnovers. We played 50 minutes last night and had 6, and that was all their defense that caused them. So they forced us higher on the floor, and Chris is a very good one-on-one player. So when they got so spread out and they're trying to deny Tyler and they're pressuring the crap out of Aaron Clark, and they're denying Dean Knoll, and you throw it to Chris Mito, he's playing one-on-one, and that guy's got good mobility, man. He's good with the ball on the deck, and he's got a lot of courage, and has played huge for us in the tournament, obviously. And we talked about in huddles, we've got to play through Chris, we got to play through Tyler. We did do that, but again, it's just the players finding spots where they're able to get a little bit of separation. Like Tyler was kind of in the post, and Chris was on the perimeter, mostly driving it.
Coach, you're kind of like Charleston in that you seem you could play in different styles. You could win a game in the 80s or 90s, or one like today, 50s or 60s. Is there a certain style or way that you hope the game will go tomorrow night?
Yeah, I hope we score more than them. That's my main hope. But no, I think that they're a hard team, I think, to beat when it's in the 90s. But we're not a team that our guards are aggressive. Tyler's aggressive. He's not going to turn down good looks in transition. Dean Knoll's aggressive. Aaron Clark's aggressive. So that kind of forces our pace to be higher. Now, I'm old, and so I love games like this. This was a rock fight. This was a toughness game. This was a game that was won on the backboard that, wasn't really an execution game. I mean, the shots Tyler was hitting, that wasn't coaching. That's just throwing the ball to Tyler, and he's making shots. So tomorrow we'll have our hands full. We know that. We got great respect for Charleston, but, I mean, we felt like for the last 3+ weeks that we're playing as well as anybody in the league. I mean, we keep talking about we really feel like we're the hottest team in the league. Now, they may have been the best team for 2 months. We only got to be the best team for 40 minutes.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks. See you guys tomorrow.